Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video, and this is a paid request for RB. Thank you so much for your kindness, your generosity, your patience. I really, truly do appreciate it. For those interested in requesting any type of movie review, re-review, doesn't have to be a movie. It could be something like this, or TV show topic, random thoughts, commentary, reaction, video game playthrough for an hour or full playthrough, whatever the case may be. Feel free to send it. I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can. For those who sent them, thank you. I do appreciate it. And this is for TNA Bound for Glory 2007. And number one, very rarely do I get requests to watch and review wrestling pay-per-views, but that's actually pretty cool. Because it's something different. I don't watch a lot of wrestling nowadays, but I did some back in the day. And I've never seen an episode of TNA. I had never seen a pay-per-view of TNA. TNA known for total nonstop action. Now I've heard of the promotion and throughout the years heard things back and forth about. I think that Jeff Jarrett at one point was the head guy, and then I think it was this girl like Ditsy Carter, unless she had the whole time. And then like they changed the name from Total Nonstop Action to Impact, and I think that was back to TNA. I think now they work with WWE. And then I think they used to be on Spike TV, but then it was like Destination America, and then I don't even know where the hell they're at now. Because I don't know anyone who watches the stuff nowadays, and I don't know. I know at one point Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff were doing stuff, but then it's like they tried to be like a wannabe WCW. I never saw any of that stuff. I probably only see if it was request, but here in 2007, this pay-per-view, to get long story short, I liked it. The first couple matches I wasn't sure because I didn't know a lot of these people, so I didn't really have anything to really hone in on. So like the first 2 or 3 matches, I'm like, whatever. But as it went on, I'm like, I really started liking the matches. So the big thing in this one was Kurt Angle versus Sting, and I don't think they did a good job explaining how this came to be. If you're like someone like me that didn't know anything about it, I think they could have done a better job explaining this. Something about Kurt Angle for some reason hit Sting's son, and Kurt Angle is the champion. His wife Karen Angle, which by the way, didn't Karen Angle and was it Jeff Jarrett? Didn't they become a thing later on? Didn't she cheat on Kurt Angle? I can't remember. I could be wrong on that. I thought something, if not Jeff Jarrett, that's someone else. I thought something like that happened. Maybe not, I don't know. But anyway, Karen Angle is saying you shouldn't do this, and Kevin Nash is there, and he's saying you shouldn't do this because you're messing with Sting. But ultimately, they don't work with Kurt Angle because Kurt Angle is their ticket. So I don't know. Does Kurt Angle pay Kevin Nash for what is it? Services? What, bodyguard? What? Because Kevin Nash at one point tossed to Sting and it's like, he's my money ticket, he's my meal ticket. I'm like, how? And why did Kurt Angle fuck with Sting's son? And how does it all come up to be? I don't know. I wish they had more. I think WWE can do that very well. Where they'll show footage of this is how it started and this is kind of the story that we follow. Kind of a condensed version of the events that came to be. They didn't really do that. I thought that was a mistake. Because I was just a little bit confused. But I like Kurt Angle. I like Sting. So just them having a match is cool. You also have people like AJ Styles and Christian and Samoa Joe and Ron Killings, R-Truth, Jay Lethal, the Steiners. So definitely some people I do recognize. But they get into this. The first match, I didn't know who the fuck any of these people were. The Latin American Exchange, Homicide and Hernandez versus Triple X, not the State of the Union, but Senshi and Elix Skipper. I don't know who the fuck any of these people are. Also, it shows how little I watch TNA because it took me a minute to go, is that a six-sided ring? I don't know if they still have that ring, but it was just weird. It was different seeing a six-sided ring. There's no referee, so I guess the idea of this match is I just kind of like Money in the Bank where you gotta get the briefcase. Here though, there's X's. You gotta climb up and get the X, so it go to give it to you, I guess. So there's no referee. I guess anything goes. Because I didn't know either of them, I can't say I had a whole lot of interest in the match. There's a couple of cool parts. This guy Senshi hits the one guy Homicide off the rope. Guy Skipper does a crossbody from the top. Senshi at one time jumps and does like a double stomp, landing both feet on Homicide's body. It is one of those things sometimes I notice though, when people get on top and they jump to the crowd of the other guys, they'll just stand there and watch. And it's like, if a guy's jumping towards you, you not stand there and watch, you walk away. Which Samoa Joe does, and I thought that's actually one of the cool things he does. But that's the stuff that takes me out of wrestling, when it's obvious cooperation, like when they're getting on the top rope and you tell that if it's two guys, you tell they're trying to help each other, the balance. I'm like, no, you're supposed to be fighting and beating each other. You're supposed to be hating each other and fuck you, I'm going to win. Well, no, well, we're going to help each other so we don't fall. Same with, okay, I'm going to jump over. And you don't stand there, even though you just walk away, and you know the guy's coming, so I guess you don't allow yourself to get hit. So sometimes that shit's annoying. LAX wins. Okay. So I'm like, maybe if you know these wrestlers, this could be an exciting match for you. For me, I'm like, couple of decent close calls where someone's trying to get to it and someone kicks someone off, but as is, I thought that was kind of a lukewarm match for me. I didn't really feel much of anything. And I remember thinking, oh, okay, well, this is the way it's going to start. All right. Then the Fight for Right Revenge Battle Royale. I'll be honest, I did not understand what the fuck the rules were in this Battle Royale match. Something about there's 16 people and then the first 8 to get in, then the Battle Royale start. But then there are times that people are just standing there and they're not trying to get in, which I don't understand why. Because there's people that'll be over here by themselves, and the idea is you gotta get in, so you enter, so that if you win, you could go further. But they're just fucking standing there. Now some people try then bring you down and stuff, but then there's other times I'm like, no, there are easy, quick ways for you to get into the ring. But so many of these people are not doing it. And that's why I was confused. I'm like, okay, well, you want to get in, but then like, this is one big tall guy. He's just kind of standing there. I'm like, he eventually does get in, but I'm like, what's he waiting for? He's just kind of staring, and then he just trying to fight people. I'm like, why are you going to the idea is supposed to go into the ring? Why are you going out of your way to try to fight people? So like that was confusing. And so I just like the first eight didn't, and then the match starts. So the other eight or so, goodbye, fuck off. Then it becomes a battle royal that you gotta go over the rope. And sometimes, like, you have the two people working together. You can tell they're working together. Let's see. I recognize Rikishi, or I'm sorry, Fatu Jr., as they called him, because they can't call him Rikishi, because that was WWF. But he still, I mean, he is Rikishi. He does the thing with the stink face. Someone's in the corner, rub his ass against them, and like, oh my god. So there is that. Which, granted, I mean, I don't know how that wins you the match because it doesn't hurt the person. It pisses them off. It's a way to embarrass them, but it doesn't hurt them. So again, it doesn't help you win, but I guess just, it's a thing they did get popular for him to do, so he does it here. There's this guy named Taz. He has some nice moves. This is one nice kick he does. Like, ooh, that was a really hard-hitting kick. But Eric Young wins, which I'm not too familiar with Eric Young. I recognize the name, but I don't think I've ever seen a match with him. So I think just at first I was just confused by the rule. Like, the opening was just very confusing. Okay, the first eight have to get in, but then like, well, why isn't he getting in? Or why aren't they getting in? Okay, like, if it's like I'm trying to get in, they're pulling back and forth, that's one thing. But then there's people like standing around that you easily get in, but they don't. I get maybe the idea is you gotta go over the rope to get in, but it seems like there are opportunities for people to do it and they don't do it anyway, so. And I'm like, oh god, these first two matches aren't really for me. I'm probably going to hate this, right? But no, then it got to AJ Styles, who I do recognize, and Tomko, pretty big dude, versus Team Pac-Man, which is Pac-Man Jones, which I've heard the name, and Ron Killings, R-Truth, which I like. R-Truth, I like Ron Killings. There was that whole thing that he got fired, let go, and then the internet went berserk. They hired him back, and he's like, I'm not R-Truth anymore, I'm Ron Killings. And then, a month later, he was about to be in the goofiest fuck R-Truth. So that was all for fucking nothing. Cutting your hair, all these big speeches. They did absolutely nothing with them, just like I thought they would. That's why I didn't fucking get into that at all. Didn't pay attention to much at all. Because I knew they were going to fuck it up and not do anything. And lo and behold, they fucked it up and didn't do anything. This is why I don't watch wrestling nowadays. Because they always fuck it up. Oh, the John Cena heel turn. Look how that turned out for you. John Cena fucking sucks. He's always fucking sucked. And this continued to show that he fucking sucks. He didn't become a good heel. He was shit. I remember people, oh my god, this is like when Hulk Hogan joined NWO. How did that work out for you? For people fucking saying that shit. How you like that now? With the egg on your face. John Cena told you to fuck off. Get out of my face. Stick this up your ass. Or you give you no more sass. John Cena fucking sucks. Cause he's a fucking cucks. Fuck John Cena. Shitty actor, shitty promo, shitty wrestler. Anyway. But I like this match. This was a very fun match. And then they introduced a guy, I don't know how far he went, Consequences Creed. And he was pretty much dressed like Apollo Creed from Rocky. He had the stars and stripes and trying to act like he's a boxer, but this was a fun match. Patman Jones was on the outside. It was really Ron Killings as this new guy. It seemed like he was trying to be a showcase for this new guy. AJ Styles, just from this match alone, I've seen some highlights. He was used much better here than he ever has been in WWF. I know WWE, but I fucking call it WWF because that's what it is. It's fucking WWF. Fuck the Wildlife Foundation. But AJ Styles' moves were crisp and fast, and Consequences Creed, he has some good moves. And R-Truth, okay, Ron Killings, loved his stuff. I think there's a playlist or a video that's like 2 hours of Ron Killings. I want to see more of this guy's stuff, this older stuff, because he has like a nice drop kick. He has this cool, he does his punch, but he does his roll. He's fighting the bigger guy Tomko, and he's like avoiding, and he puts his leg down like a split, so he avoids. He gets back up. AJ Styles does a leapfrog and gives a good drop kick and a Pele kick. And at one point, Ron Killings did like a corkscrew. Actually, no. Never mind. That's not what it's called. But they were doing some pretty cool moves. It was actually Ron Killings that got corkscrewed. That was the finish of the match. One funny bit was that the one guy, Patman Jones, had all this money, and AJ Styles took the money and threw it. And then like Ron Killings was supposed to cover someone, but the ref just kept picking up the money. So I guess that was the thing. I guess they're the heel. Okay, question: who are the heels and who are the babyface in this match? Because it seemed like Team Pac-Man were the heels because they were doing stuff where, oh, don't use the money and use a distraction. Usually the ref would pick it up if like the one guy's covering the other guy, and come on, cover me, stop picking up the money. Only this, it backfired. But then later on, I forget which match it was, AJ Styles came out as if he was the bad guy. I forget which match that was, though, damn it. And I'm like, well, wait, okay, so is he the good guy or is he the bad guy? But anyway, Truth, Ron Killings gets pinned. So they didn't want to pin the new guy because the new guy, Consequences Creed, obviously they had plans for him. So Ron Killings did the job. Very fun match. I would say, okay, now we're going. This is the first fun match on the card. Very fast paced, a lot of cool moves. Ron Killings, AJ Styles, even Consequences Creed, they were impressive and very, very cool to watch. That was a fun match. Jay Lethal versus Christopher Daniels for the X Division Championship. That I liked because Jay Lethal, I do remember from TNA, even though I didn't watch it, I do remember this clip of Jay Lethal pretending to be Ric Flair, giving a promo to Ric Flair, and they have like a woo-off. I do remember that because Jay Lethal does a really good impression of Ric Flair. During this time, he was Black Machismo, which is Macho Man Randy Savage. So he's pretty much dressing up, acting, wrestling like Randy Savage, but also adding stuff like Hurricane Ramas and suicide dives, which you didn't see Randy Savage do a lot of Hurricane Ramas if I learned how to talk. But this was a fun match. I like Jay Lethal. Some good moves, neck break, and then to a suplex, full Nelson suplexes. The way it ends, Jay Lethal does his crazy combo, like a backbreaker to a face plant. Not a DDT, but like a face plant. I'm like, wow, okay, this is really some really cool moves. Went at a good pace. Didn't feel too overlong. Jay Lethal won, which I liked. That was the one I wanted to win. So that was a fun match. So great, 2 matches in a row I like. Then you got the Steiners versus Team 3D. I thought that was cool. You got Rick and Scott Steiner versus Bubba Ray Dudley and Devon Dudley. It's a tables match, 2 out of 3 tables. I love Scott Steiner's promo. You take sprinters, your asses. You got fat asses all night long. It's don't take you because you sure got some fat asses. And those are, even though I didn't watch this, that's another thing I remember seeing clips on YouTube is the promo Scott Steiner, like making fun of Samoa Joe or Bubba Ray Dudley, because he's fat. He's got some fat asses. And then the math. It's not on this, but the one that he does the math promo. Just Scott Steiner math promo, just look up. It's hilarious. But I love like, you will be taking sprinters out of your ass all night long. Cause you got some fat asses. And it is going to be all night long. Cause you sure got some fat asses. So I thought that was pretty funny. Pretty much this was, I mean, these guys can't do as much. They're older. They're not as spry as they were once before. I think actually this was the interference where you had... No. So Scott Steiner would beat up on Bubba Ray, and I like that you would throw beer at him, throw beer at his face. The Team 3D got the first table, but then eventually they were able to get the other 2. At one point, Scott Steiner did the Frankensteiner on one of the Dudleys. There's some ball shots, one hits the other in the balls. Some shots with the belt. One thing I thought was weird is how the match ended. And the reason I was hesitating and trying to think of it is... The way it ends is, for the second table, is the Steiners do, like, get them in the air and then do, like, a bulldog to get Devon through the table. But I swear, like, Devon, you see him, like, having a conversation with... I think Rich Steiner before the bulldog. So you see the camera and Devon's like, I'm like, you guys have a fucking conversation. All this like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. If it was that, okay. But it's like, okay, obvious cooperation because you're having a fucking goddamn, whole conversation during it. I thought that was a bit weird. And I think at one point it looked like the Steiners were going to lose, but then I think, was it the Motor City Machine Guns tag team? They came out as a distraction. I'm like, did you really need a distraction in this match? Did you really need one distracting the other? I mean, that could have just been... It was going to be Scott Steiner that was going to go through. Just have Rich Steiner do it. Like, Rich Steiner could have done the same thing as these 2 guys. And then, Scott, they try to hit Scott. He ducks. One hits the one Dudley hits the other Dudley. I mean, why couldn't Rich Steiner just do this? What the Motor City Machine Guns did. I just don't like, sometimes it gets annoying, the outside interference or distraction. Oh, they couldn't have won if they weren't distracted by this outside force. Sometimes it gets a bit annoying. I'm not always big on that. But the Steiners do win, which is cool. Because I do like the Steiners. Like I said, it's much more of a brawl. It's not going to be, which is fine because, I mean, you had more of the spiffy moves and the AJ Styles, Ron Killings, and the Jay Lethal, Christopher Daniels matches. That again is more of a brawl. So yeah, I mean, some sloppy stuff. It's not the most fluid, but did I have fun with it? Sure. I didn't mind it for what it was. Then you have a women's match, but it's just a battle royale. I didn't recognize much of these women. I like this girl ODB. I liked her because there's this promo where the ladies are talking, and then she takes the mic, and like this girl's like, I guess trying to speak Hispanic, trying to be badass, and ODB's like, yeah, Hakuna Matata. Like the way she said that and like tossed to the other ladies, I'm like, okay, this ODB lady has some gumption. She has some attitude that works for a wrestler. She seems like a big girl, still nice looking, nice titties, but not a string bean either. I liked her attitude. I liked ODB. I liked her. I did. And I thought, and of like the 4 or 5 women, even the promos before it, she was like the only one that felt natural. Awesome Khan, I definitely have heard of her. She's in the match. And I mean, as it was fine to watch. It was interesting. Just nice to see Awesome Khan there. See how ODB did. Like a lot of the girls, you tell. I'm sorry, I don't mean this in a bad way. Well, I guess I do mean it in a bad way. A lot of girl wrestlers fucking suck. They do. Not because they're girls, but just because a lot of girl wrestlers fucking suck. Not saying all of them, but a lot of them do. Just like they try to do these moves and they're sloppy and they don't fucking connect well and they can't do certain things or they can barely lift certain things. Like ODB, I thought she sold well when she got hit, but selling like crumple like a wet noodle. What the fuck? You're like Alan McBeal. You guys are most of you like anorexic as fuck. I don't buy you beating a Tweety Bird, let alone someone in a fucking match. But Gail Kim, I've definitely heard of the name. She definitely seemed like she was the favorite, and seemed like she knew what she was doing. So I would say I Awesome Khan, definitely an imposing figure. ODB and Gail Kim, I like those 3 at least. So at least those 3 I liked, and Gail Kim wins. So yeah, it was watchable for me. Samoa Joe versus Christian. This was one of my favorite matches of the night. This was a lot of fun. Good hard hits, good back and forth comebacks. Great moments like Samoa Joe walking away as the person falls on their ass and giving the middle finger. I thought that was cool. Some good, nice, hard hits. Samoa Joe wins. I don't even want to give much details away. Just watch that match. And it's a shame. I know he went to WWE, but he got hurt from time to time, and it wasn't able to do much. Just wasn't able to do much. It's a shame. Just got there too late or something. I don't know. But definitely want to check out more Samoa Joe matches of this time period. And Christian, like, they worked well together. Glad the Samoa Joe won. Very fun match. I mean, that might have been my favorite match of the card. I would say my top three was Samoa Joe versus Christian, Jay Lethal versus Christopher Daniels, and then the AJ Styles, Ron Killings, the tag team match. Those three I like the best. Abyss, this monster, like, it's Rhino, Raven, Black Rain, which is Dustin Rose, aka Gold Dust, only if Gold Dust wore black. So Black Rain. I didn't give a shit about this fucking match. It's just, hey, let's have a bunch of fucking garbage in the ring. Smack each other with fucking garbage. Here's a fucking glass or some thumbtacks or other horse shit. I don't give a fuck about that in wrestling. I don't. I never did. I'm not a GCW guy. Or was it CZW or both? What the fuck? C could stand for crap and the G for fucking stand for garbage. I do agree with Jim Cornette on that. You know, I don't agree with him and everything, but I don't like that shit in wrestling. I think that shit's fucking stupid. I mean, you got enough you could do in wrestling. You don't need fucking thumbtacks. And once in a while, maybe, but then when you overdo the shit and have a bunch of fucking garbage, and it's like, come on, dude. And then Abyss, he barely did shit. He got his ass kicked for half of the fucking match, and then all of a sudden he's the winner. I'm like, okay. Raven looked a bit rough around the edges. And yeah, I didn't, and it was just, oh, let's do some stunt work. Put this guy on the table, make sure he doesn't move for the 5 fucking minutes it takes us to get around and get on top, because guy must be so fucking knocked out. And I love, like, at times when people are knocked out on the table, but then they'll move like this, and they'll move like this. Like, there are times, if you see wide shots, not in this one, I don't think, but in wide shots, the person on the table, he'll, like, scratch his arm and stuff, and I'm like, okay, you did scratch your arm, but you can't get off the fucking table. That shit just kills me, but I didn't give a shit about this match, no. And I didn't follow much. I've heard of the name Abyss, but I haven't followed much of his matches. Look-wise, he seemed like he's trying to go like Mankind, Mick Foley Mankind. But yeah. Which I think Abyss works behind the scenes of WWE now. And then Kurt Angle versus Sting. It was fine. It was fine. I mean, Kurt Angle knows how to go. Kurt Angle is a wonderful guy in the ring. I think Sting started off strong. And then eventually was Kurt giving the suplexes and stuff, and Sting getting beat on. And then you got the interference. You got the interference for Karen Angle. You got the interference for Kevin Nash. And because the interference went wrong, that way Sting got the baseball bat, able to hit Kurt Angle and win. That kind of, like, if that just got, like, you can't win from just wrestling and beating him 1, 2, 3. It's like, well, yeah, he's got to win, but he's got to do some stuff so it doesn't kill it. Okay, I could understand that, but it's like, okay, that stuff just annoys me. It does. All the time does it annoy me? No, but I would have liked the match. Okay, I like that Sting won and actually became a champion. You tell that he's a little bit older in age, so he can't do as much as he used to, but it's still cool to see Sting. I don't think he did the Stinger splash. I could be wrong, but I don't think he did, which I was a bit surprised by. I'm trying to think. If you still had Sting win, but you didn't have the interferences, I probably would have liked this match a bit more. I know it's part of the story because they didn't throw it. You have Karen Angle trying to talk to Kurt, or Kevin Nash try to talk to Kurt, then Kevin Nash try to talk to Steen. So it's in there, and that's why they pop up at the end. But like I said, if you didn't have the interference, I probably would have liked the match a bit more. But it was okay. I didn't mind it. I liked it for what it was. And I think Tornado, Steen did a good job, but I think Tornado definitely helped make that match what it is. Because Tornado, what's funny is that I don't watch wrestling nowadays, but I watch a lot of like wrestling clips, whether it be Maven Huffman, I liked his YouTube channel. Stevie Richards, I liked his YouTube channel. Jim Cornette, I don't always agree with what he says, but I like some of a lot of his stuff. The thing of with Dave Meltzer, that guy that gives the star ratings, it's insane that Kurt Angle has never had a 5-star match. Oh, AEW has like 80 of them in the 4 years they've been on fucking TV or whatever. But Kurt Angle apparently has never had a 5-star match, even though he's a fantastic wrestler. So whatever. But this was fine. This was fun. Cool to see these two guys in the ring. I thought they worked well together. Again, not everything was as fluid as could be, but yeah, Kurt Angle definitely was pretty. I mean, Steen was good too, but like I said, if I had to give a top 3, I would give Samoa Joe versus Christian, Jay Lethal versus Christopher Daniels, and AJ and Tom Cole versus Ron Killings and really Consequences Creed. Oh, and that was for the tag team champions, and AJ and Tom Cole won it from Team Pac-Man. And yeah, Steen won, got the championship from Kurt Angle. I don't know what happened after this. Like, if they feuded more, who got the belt afterward, who did Steen fight afterward, I don't know. If RB's watching, feel free to let me know. I mean, this was fun. This was a lot of fun. Like I said, this was for free on YouTube. It was fun to watch this, and it was fun to watch an older. Because I mean, hell, 2007 is old. I mean, that's almost 20 years ago, which is crazy. Because we're 2025, we're almost at 2026, and then 2020. Yeah, we're almost 20 years ago. So that's crazy. 18 years ago, at this point. Hell, if people want to request more of these, feel free. I mean, this was fun to do. This was a lot of fun. It was fun to watch. For the most part, I liked the matches. I mean, after the first 2, other than the Abyss one, the others I enjoyed in some way or another. Some more than others, but hey, I thought this had more good than bad. I quite enjoyed this. So, this was fun. Yeah, I liked it. From the guy that hates everything, I liked it. Hey, Mikey, he liked it. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. Thank you once again, RB, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye for now.